20 minutes that you end up doing that gets cut down and cut down and cut down. And that brought to mind one of my favorite movies, which a lot of critics panned for this or that, or it had some flaws, but I think it was because it got cut down so much. This was all before Lord of the Rings kind of proved you could drag it out, but that would be Dune. And from what I always heard, that movie, when David initially edited it, was like 9 hours. And Dino said, no, you're going to have to get this down to under 2 hours. And he had to just keep cutting, and that's when you got all the voiceovers and stuff like that.
Well, first of all, I was working at Columbia University teaching directing actors specifically. And there was a guy there who was the head of the place with Milos Forman were the two heads, and he was an incredible script doctor. He knew more about structure than anybody, this guy. And David had, because he had worked with David on Eraserhead, and he gave David the film. He was head of AFI at this point, and he gave David Lynch the footage. He had a bunch of shorts. He said, I'll give you this, but you got to cut it. So take everything, the whole movie, and put it on note cards, and we're going to go over it, and we're going to restructure this movie so that you can shoot it. And he did. So part of the success of Eraserhead, I think, was probably partially due to Frank Danielle's influence on it. Anyway, Frank Danielle had read the script, and he said, the problem with the script, and that's where the movie starts, was that it was almost all illustration. It really just told the story sequentially. And you can't do that. You've got to have a meanwhile, and a film has to be, and then this story has to be structured in a way that it creates tension and so forth. And there was no tension in that movie at all. It just didn't build well. It didn't, so it was flat, and people came and saw it and didn't like it. And that was the problem. It was, I mean, it really was. And who's going to sit through a 9-hour movie?
Oh, well, I was thinking if they were to put it out in 3 different installments.
Then, I mean, maybe that's what they should have done, but it wasn't structured for that.
Yeah, your cutaway. There's no cutaway. There's nothing cutaway. The lead guy is in every single scene.
I mean, you really would have to do. I always thought that you end with the fall of the Atreides. The next movie starts very small and is only about the Fremen. You know, and it really builds that whole thing, because even in the books, I always felt that could have been way more mysterious and way more beautiful. You know, the mystery of what it was and what these people were able to accomplish and so forth. I mean, I thought that could have been really, and then the third one, the war.
And wasn't the movie you did right after that Flannery Connor movie?
Wise Blood.
Yeah, that was a tremendous film.
Well, that was directed by John Huston, who probably the thing about John Huston is he can act. He's a painter, and of course he's a writer. So, of all the mediums that are, I mean, the poet is the camera, and he just, you know, we would go into rehearsal and go, okay, show me what you, and you would do something. He said, oh, go over there and start it over there, and then he would do, that's good. And then he would just go to the guy here, here, and here, maybe 4 shots. We'd come in, we'd shoot it, we were finished, hour lunch. We would go back, scene is done. We would go back, shoot the next scene, because shoot 2 scenes is a big deal in those days in the movie. And we were done by 3:30, 4 o'clock. That never happens, but that's how good he was.
Thanks. Unfortunately, guys, we're running out of time, so
This will be the last question.
one more question. Sorry.
Hello,
Okay,
Mr. Dourif.
but whoever it was, we were also late starting this.
That is true.
That is true.
When you got the role in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, did you have any expectations about working with Jack Nicholson? And did you have any idea that it would win you so much acclaim?
I just moved to Woodstock and I had seen The Last Detail in Woodstock. And Jack's performance in that, I think it's the best thing he ever did in his life. I just was like, I thought it was completely innovative, and I realized that this guy's really changed the way people act. Nobody's going to act in the same way because of Jack Nicholson. That, that was the culmination of a lot of things. And I said, I'm going to work with that guy. I just know him. And I threw that out into the universe and got the
You made it
part.
very clear.
And my expectation about fame and fortune was like, it comes when it comes, and it doesn't, and who cares anyway.
Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you for coming. Is there anything you're